All right, I want to take a look right now at the Russia and Ukraine situation and basically just see what's going on there if we're looking at a massive, oh god, a massive escalation um, with the current administration in the United States seeming to want to create World War III before they're done. Um, but I'm not really looking specifically at the American administration. Here, what I'm just looking at is the situation with Ukraine and Russia and just seeing if this is about to spread out or what we get. All right, so the root card is the tower, and that doesn't look particularly good. So the tower is the collapse of something. It is probably literally an attack on a place, and we have the explosion. Um, and the main card here is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups, and I've seen this show up before, and I'll probably read it that way here. The Queen of Cups, as in Mother Russia, right? So the Queen of Cups is like this loving, devoted mother. And I think what it's really showing is Russia. Now, here we've got the devotion of the Queen of Cups being given to the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords, it usually shows something that people would try to avoid. Like here, this person was trying to hide from all the scary swords, and they hid in this box, and the swords found them anyway. And it shows like trying to avoid something and it blows up in your face. Here, there's all of this care and devotion that's given to this trauma and the thing that they tried not to deal with, and then it blew up in their face. I'm pretty sure that you could read this as the United States allowing these longer range missiles to be used in Russia by the Ukrainians. Anyway, we have a lot of care and devotion given here. Now, if we look at this, so the tower would show the thing like exploding, and then this would probably be the injury that is kind of caused by it, and this would be like tending to an injury. And here, the back is to the magician. So the magician is, the master of many skills, and they're displaying their power and knowledge and all of this stuff. So this is like someone who is normally like kind of out there on display, and instead they're kind of tending to their wounds. Now, none of this, other than the disruption that's shown in the tower, I wouldn't necessarily see this as being escalation, but it does show things getting even more fucked up. So I'm going to pull a card specifically to see about the spread of this. Is this going to cause Russia to engage the United States in some way? And we've got these Korean soldiers or whatever there, and just what do we have as far as spreading of this conflict? So we get the Temperance card. Now, on the surface, the Temperance card could show patience and wisdom and understanding, which would be awesome if that were true. But I think what's actually happening here is these two different conflicts are getting blended into one thing. So this would be spreading in that, well, more than spreading, this is integration. So I think that the war in Ukraine is going to be blended with a different conflict. And it would be all of these different things kind of being blended into the same sort of deal. And that's what we would call World War, World War III, as these different individual conflicts get blended into the same thing. Boy, I'm going to pull one more on this just to see what we get. Right. Now, this actually showed up in the last reading that I did about war. And the strength card and peeking out on the bottom is the Hierophant. Both of these showed up in the last reading that I did. But the strength card, I just looked at that reading briefly before I did this one. And as I was looking at it, I felt like this was Russia struggling against, the monster. I guess it would be like the NATO monster, but it would be all of these other forces that are trying to attack them. Now, you could also read it the other way, where the big monster thing is Russia, and then here would be Ukraine, like trying to fight them off. In either case, the person that's trying to fight off the invader loses. They're trying to do something that they just literally don't have the strength to do. So there would be an overwhelming, like, attacking force here. As these different conflicts get blended into the same thing. Well, this doesn't look particularly good. So I'm looking at Russia right now, and I just want to see if there are going to be any massive strikes within Russia. I know there have been a couple smaller ones, and we get the world reversed. So it's hard to say, but the world would show a natural completion of a cycle. The world reversed would be the cycle basically becoming complete, but sort of not recognizing that. And here, I believe if there was to be some sort of really fucked up attack within Russia, whatever would naturally come next, it wouldn't happen right away. I mean, the true escalation, let's say that one of these Ukrainian missiles hit Moscow or something like that, right? The true escalation, and it's okay, so that's the end of this preliminary stuff, and that means we're moving into the main event or whatever. That wouldn't happen right away, is what I would take out of the world. I mean, it would happen eventually, but this would show a resistance or not really recognizing the end/beginning of something. Well, this doesn't look great as far as that conflict goes. Now, okay, I'm going to pull a card here because what we're seeing is the last bit of the Biden administration doing what they can to escalate this. And they've got about 2 months to do it. And a lot can happen in 2 months. So I want to see what sort of energy, is the Trump administration going to fix all of the damage that is being done by the Biden administration? And we get the Seven of Swords, which is pressure. So this would say that they're pretty much going to have to. They're going to be pressured to do it, and they might not be able to pull it off. Shown in the metaphor of the jester who does tricks, and people are looking at him, and he's like, well, I better do a fucking trick here, but that rope up there is about to break, and he's about to swallow that sword the hard way. There would be a lot of pressure to fix or minimize the damage that is being done by the Biden administration in their last couple of months, and it might not be doable. They might not be able to fix it. Well, all of that sucks. This, the Temperance card, which is normally something that is very positive in a reading like this. I think this is probably the worst one that shows up here, as I believe it is showing an integration, a blending of conflicts into one thing. And that's what they call a world war. So that's what we have for now. I would love to hear what you think about this, and peace.